Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're live on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. We're looking forward to chatting about football. We're delighted that Richard Foster, Tam McManus and Alan Ruff is here with us in the studio. Ruffy, we thought you weren't going to make it, and we were wondering if the mullet would have been blown into smithereens with that mad weather we've got.
No, I was well sheltered. Unfortunately, somebody had put a set of traffic lights up on the Airdrie Road, which was causing mayhem, so... No, I made it.
Yeah,
I mean, I was outside for 15 minutes. Might give me a shout.
Some super glue on that, by the way.
Oh, absolutely, by the way. It's the good thing about you, Ruffy, is you've stuck to a winning formula on your hairdo, whereas Richard over the years has changed dramatically.
Richard said the term.
Oh, you had the Bond villain. You went through the Bond villain years. You remember him at the PFA when we were there and we decided to have a wee drink with him?
Yes, we did. Yep.
Not a good move, to be honest with you. Champions League drinkers. Anyway, apart from that, that's why he's on the show. That's why he's part of the team. We're going to talk football, and we're going to talk about a number of things that really have caught us by surprise. The first one is Dundee have sacked James McPake. Ruffy, I can't believe it.
No, I think obviously with the cup win there, I think James would have thought it'd maybe bought a bit of time, but obviously there's things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Dundee aren't notorious for hanging on to their manager when things aren't going particularly well, so it's a sad one. We had James on the show a few times, very enthusiastic in everything he does. But no, when you're down the bottom of that league, I think people have to know the perils of dropping a division. You're talking £1 million drop in income right away. And that has to be reassessed, and I think that's what they've done. Well,
the proof is in the pudding when you try and get an insight into why they've done it. And I'm looking here at the statement from Dundee, and it says, however, at this time, the club must look to a manager with additional experience with the aim of preserving James's legacy and our place in the Premiership. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're going to sack James McPake, you do it 2 games ago when he's under the caution. People think he's under a wee bit of pressure, not when he's suddenly rallied the troops to 2 positive results.
2 great results. Well, 1 great result. I think they were expected to beat Peterhead, but to beat Hearts at Tynecastle is a phenomenal result. And it lifted them off the bottom of the table. So I don't understand it. I mean, experience, what they're looking for. Gordon Strachan, Jockey Scott still kicking a ball. I don't know who they're looking for. In terms that he come in, but. That's really caught me by surprise, that one. I thought that he would get to the end of the season, and it looks as if it's a straight race now between them and St Johnstone, but I still think they'll stay up. This is a big gamble from Dundee, in my point of view.
If you think they'll stay up, do you think St Johnstone are going down?
Yeah, I think St Johnstone will go down, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Richard, when they say that they're looking for someone with additional experience, that suggests somebody older, certainly suggests somebody who's maybe managed at a couple of clubs. I don't see Gordon Strachan taking it, because I know Gordon and I think he's happy with where his life is and the type of things that he's doing. Could they be going for I'm struggling to think of a name of somebody with additional experience who's out there.
You and me both. I think the statement kind of reads as if they already have found that person and they're just kind of almost listing his qualities without telling us who it is. But I think of the weekends where James McPake thought he would get sacked, I can't imagine this one, or after this one, it would have been one of those weekends because of the results. Like I say, the Peterhead game's a bit of a formality, but you go to Tynecastle, one of your hardest fixtures of the year, you win, kind of showing the seeds of recovery, and then a week later you're sacked. It just seems very strange. But like I say, from that statement, it definitely seems like they've got someone lined up, but I don't know who it would be.
I think it's Gordon.
Do you think so?
I think they've went to Gordon and said, 3 months. That's all we're looking for. We're looking for a 3-month hit.
Yeah.
Can he turn? He's been about the place. He knows the players.
Does this coincide with his 3-month deal at Celtic as well?
Yeah.
is that still going?
I don't know if that is still going. But no, with that statement, we can't think of anybody. Nobody else can think of anybody with experience. But he's there. He's in the building.
But he's got experience. But is he got experience in a relegation battle?
Yeah, absolutely he has. He's had it with Coventry, and then some. He knew how to battle. I mean, I personally, and again, I'm not being biased because of my friendship with him. I think he's a great coach. I mean, the players talk highly of him as a coach, as a motivator. To try and get that energy level that they will need. But you've got, as you mentioned, you've got 12 or 13 games left. It doesn't make sense.
Maybe the 3 American owners have got together.
Yeah.
Ron Gordon, Dave Cormack and who's the boy at Dundee, the owner?
John Nelms.
John Nelms, maybe they've got together, because they've lost actor manager recently.
Yeah. Well, why don't we check Ruffy's WhatsApp, because there's any skullduggery,
Maybe they've had a Zoom call.
he's usually involved in it.
I reckon, but owners are no shy in pulling the trigger.
Bet they never sacked him by email.
Yeah.
Aha.
That's why you're here, boy. Well done, there you are. And amazingly, forgive me for being cynical, Ruffy, but Charlie said to us he couldn't get down because all the trains were off.
Right, phone.
And I did check, and I thought, okay, the trains are off, and then all of a sudden the manager gets bulleted. Let me tell you this.
Initials when you jump off.
But another thing about it, Charlie's not that type of guy. I don't think he wants the job. I personally think that Charlie will go back down south and become a coach there.
Yeah, but I think in the interim, if it isn't Gordon Strachan, then Charlie's got the experience, just till they get somebody in. That's what usually happens at clubs. They'll leave somebody in charge, leave the boy Robson in charge up at Aberdeen till they get somebody. So I think Charlie would fancy a wee chance at it just to have a look at the ins and outs of how it goes about it. But we know he wants to go back down south eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to so many people who post messages to us. We always like to read the odd one out, just to make people feel at home as part of the team. And of course, we try and ask everybody if they are going to post messages about their favourite team, or indeed anything about football. You try and keep it decent. And Beyond the Beaten Track says Richard Foster is a bunnet. So there you are. There you are. By the way, you can never please everybody. Welcome to the show. You never please anybody, Ruffy, can you not?
No,
it's just
interesting the ones you pick out.
No, I'm looking. Well,
I want to see ones that are slotted Peter, because he never mentions any of them.
He scans them. Well, you want to walk down the street with me, you'll soon know about it. In fact, let's not walk down the street with Ali at the moment, because she's right under the cosh because of your mate and all that crew who are jumping on her head. But nevertheless, you'll get opinion on this show. That's a Stonewall certainty. I can't think of... Peter King says Dundee got lucky against Peterhead. They were poor and the referee helped him out. Well, that may be it. And of course, Matt has said Jack Ross next Aberdeen manager. You can't rule anything out because of St Mirren dig their heels in. I'm not sure they will, Ruffy. If they want Jim Goodwin, surely Aberdeen can pay compensation.
Yeah, I think they will if they've identified that he is the man. That kind of money shouldn't stand in the way. I'm sure Jim's had a chat with whoever, and if he indicates that he does want to go, then maybe the club will make it a lot easier for him, because he's been a good servant since he went in.
Yeah, absolutely. And somebody says, Ruffy, this is great. I've got a video of Peter singing Penny Arcade. I know exactly where it was. I think we got about 600 for that shirt. Absolutely. Anyway, apart from anything else, we love a bit of banter, and thanks to everyone for posting your messages. Try and keep it decent, please. James McPake, a lot of pity, a lot of sympathy for him as well, to get sacked at this time, but it'll be interesting to see who comes in and steps up to the plate. Another thing about it that I don't think it's Gordon is because the last thing you want to do is be sitting there advising James McPake and being, this kind of a father figure to lean on, and then he suddenly comes. It's not Gordon's style. I don't know.
No, it's not. He wouldn't have had any decision on that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be in that overriding decision.
Yeah.
And it just depends on what Gordon wants out of it, really.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anyway, listen, we will keep abreast of that and get our finger on the pulse to see who exactly gets that job. Of course, the Aberdeen job ongoing at the moment, who they go for. Last night, it was 1-1 against St Johnstone. Did you have a draw, Ruffy, on that? I had Aberdeen to win. I think you had Aberdeen to win.
2-1 Aberdeen.
Did you?
I think the only one that got it right was Tom Cowan.
He's nothing.
He's climbed up to last again.
I was just about to say, I think you get 2 points for it. But nevertheless, Aberdeen, I get the strong feeling, when you're down there and managers look for every decision, they obviously are going to question them. And Callum Davison was not a happy man about the Aberdeen penalty.
We're not going to get decisions, so accept it. Don't let it don't let yourself get frustrated. Don't get yourself down. Don't start doing the wrong things. Make sure you're always doing the right things. Because you go and see, if it was a clear penalty, I'd put my hands up and go, listen, that was a definite penalty. I can accept that. Honestly, I can accept that, but not when they're very, very, very soft, or not even a penalty. I think it's really hard to take, especially where we are in the league.
Yeah, and it becomes doubly hard when you're battling for every point. You didn't think it was a penalty?
No, it wasn't a penalty. He caught him outside the box and then he kind of fell into the box. I don't think it was a penalty kick at all. I thought it was very, very soft. But as you said, if when you're down there, those decisions seem to go against you. But you know, on the highlights, I think Aberdeen looked by far the better side. I think they created a lot of opportunities. So don't think St Johnstone can have any complaints about the overall result, getting the point.
Yeah, unless I've missed something, is anybody aware of why Lewis Ferguson was booed every time he touched the ball?
Because he gave the Aberdeen fans a Vicky after the Motherwell game. Or gesture.
Yeah.
And because obviously you got to get back into that stand, didn't you? And they were all giving him the player's stick and he made a gesture.
I'm on Lewis Ferguson's side here.
Well, it's
I'd have done worse.
it's the one thing you can't do, Ruffy, isn't it?
We talked about it on Friday. You know, if things never went Aberdeen's way, that walk up that Motherwell, there would be a lot of anger getting vented. Isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't see him do that. Did you see him do that?
I didn't see it, but if he did do it, it's very difficult not to do it. You know, if people are in your face. I mean, they were only 4 or 5 feet away.
Yeah.
You know, and you can imagine like some of the remarks were out there, and you just can't hold. You're human. You're a human being. You react to these things, and I don't know why people are getting up in arms about it.
I love it. You shout back at fans, and the sheer incredulation is, how dare he say something to me after getting absolutely blasted for the full 90 minutes. It's quite funny, and like you say, that they shout things and treat you kind of inhumanly, and then you react, and it's like, oh, he's so unprofessional.
Yeah.
Well, treat him professionally.
Should have done Eric Cantona.
Yeah.
That's what Lewis Ferguson should have done.
Well, not from that standing where they were situated. Need to have had a trampoline. But to be perfectly honest with you, Ruffy, I'm in your camp too. I mean, I have, on many an occasion reacted to people giving you jip. Ruffy did it in '78. You want to see him getting off the plane with the Scottish fans after Argentina, Ruffy? They gave you what for?
Yeah, maybe Ali thought they were all waving us back home and cheering, and he actually waved back, which was a bad mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard going. Although I do, and you only have to look at social media, and at times on here, I always compliment the people who like a bit of banter, and can look at things, and we can take criticism, and we can take getting scalped on the programme, which is fine. It's a joy, as long as it's not abusive. And I think the other thing about it now, which is happening with great regularity, is some fans are waiting to be, I call them waiting to be professionally offended. They're either waiting to see if they can get somebody to lose their job, can they jump all over them with their PC brigade, or they're saying, oh, this is terrible, what somebody's done or said.
Yeah, I mean, football's a very emotive game,
yeah.
For the fans as much as the players, and things are going to be said and done, and for the most part, in my experience, I mean, guys, you guys are probably the same. It's all light-hearted. It's friendly banter, even if they're telling you, how poor you were in the game and stuff like that. When it gets a bit personal, it's it crosses the line. But yeah, you're right. It's almost like they're goading you into saying something or doing something, and then it's like an absolute outrage. That, I mean, so what? Even if he did give him, don't know what he done, but even if he did give him the finger, so what? Is it? At the end of the day, it's not a spiteful gesture. It's not a horrible gesture. He's not hurt anyone. No one's. It's just one of those things. He's got too annoyed. He's given the gesture. It's just a nonsense that people even talk about it.
The thing that I don't get is I don't think that the supporters realise that the players as gutted as they are.
Yeah.
He's not walking off the park feeling great. He's hurting the same as them, so they have to realise that.
Yeah, I don't know if, obviously, I think the good news is, Ruffy, the studio is built of bricks and mortar. But it's the first time. It's the first time I've ever. I was going to say to you, the one thing I'm looking at is to see if any ruby red slippers are outside, because this house is about to take off. It's mental. Anyway, we are going to continue. The weather is going to be.
Doug?
Toto. Yeah, there you are. Fantastic. You'll never catch us out with things like that. So Aberdeen won, St Johnstone won. As far as Barry Robson was concerned, the overall game, he doesn't believe that the Dons will be hauled into a relegation dogfight.
I've been there before, been a relegation. I've been down there before. I know what it's like, and I know what it takes to try and win games. But we're not at that relegation stage yet. We're at place, we're in the middle of the table, and if we win another game, we're right back up to fourth. So that's how we need to think on it, and I think we've got the players in there that'll be able to do that.
Barry's reading from the same hymn book as Stephen Glass. He's talking about if we win one game, we'll be looking up the way. But winning games has been difficult for them.
Yeah, I think it's very tight, but between 4th and 10th, I think last week was like 7 points or something. So it's a couple of wins can get you into the top 6. I don't think anybody will be down. I think Dundee and St Johnstone, I think they'll get detached now, and I think they'll be fighting out to see who's down and who's in the playoffs. So I don't think there's any danger of Aberdeen or a St Mirren or anybody like that, Livingston getting been down the bottom two.
Scott Brown and Declan Gallagher off injured, that's a worry.
It is a worry, you know, they're the mainstay of the dressing room, but it just means other people have got to step up, you know, and there's certainly enough in the team who've been about for a while. They know what it's about, they know what the club's about, they know what they want to achieve. So, you know, I think they're a top six side as well eventually, but it's okay saying that, you've got to win them. 1 point's not enough, 3 points are the ones that take you there.
Yeah, let's have a look at the table and see how it's been altered as far as the result. Not too much change, just a point here and there. But there's St Johnstone, Dundee still second from bottom. Ross County have got that cushion of 6 points. And up at the top end, Celtic and Rangers separated by only 1 point. And I suppose when you look at Aberdeen in 8th, one win could get them to leapfrog not only Hibernian but St Mirren as well. But it's getting that and hoping that others start to slip up in the running. It's going to be interesting times, and whether a manager who comes in, this is the key element, Richard, a manager has to come in and suddenly get something from them, suddenly change the way they're playing and gets a little spark.
Yeah, he does, and you know, with Gallagher coming out injured, for me it's a real worry, because my concern for Aberdeen is the youth aspect of their back four. You know, they don't have a lot of experience there. Good players, the two fullbacks, great going forward. Defensively, sometimes get caught out. Don't have that experienced centre half to control the defence, to lead the, you know, to kind of control the back line. And I feel that they're always going to concede goals, you know, and if you're doing that, I mean, in Ramirez, I do think they've got a goal scorer, but you need to get him the ball, and they haven't been able to marry those two together. You know, defensively they've been relatively soft, and you know, Ramirez takes his chances when he gets them, but he doesn't get enough chances in games. So it's I don't think they'll get dragged into relegation, but it's, you know, they need to start winning soon, otherwise they will start to get a bit edgy and look over their shoulder. Okay, we're going to talk European football, talk Champions League a little later in the programme. Yesterday it was great because it started a great debate. We're going to get Richard involved in it as well. Yesterday I started to look through all the teams that made it to the Champions League final from 2000 all the way to 2021, and I picked 11 of what I would consider certainly the strongest players and the best team. All I can say to you is I've tweaked a couple of things, and we'll talk about it later to get your thinking caps on, of the best 11 players. The 11 that I selected yesterday all won the Champions League. I've tweaked a couple of players because basically some of our viewers and listeners sent me little messages saying, what about this guy, what about that guy? And it's all about opinions, Ruffy. It certainly got us talking yesterday as well.
Yeah, it did. I think there was only one debate, was Zidane. You know, why was he not considered?
Because I skipped past the 2002 and
oh, did you? Well,
couldn't see him. I was going through every year's teams, and I thought, right, here's right back, here's left back.
Yeah,
you know?
You've obviously changed it later on, I hope.
I've changed. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do it now. Will we do it now, Tam? Let's do it now. The 11 now, I've changed it slightly. Yesterday I had Neuer, Alves, Costa Curta, Nesta and Maldini, Xavi, Messi, Iniesta, and my front three were Cristiano Ronaldo, Lewandowski and Ronaldinho. Today, because a couple of people mentioned yesterday on the programme, what about Zidane? And he played in the 2002 final in Glasgow. Phenomenal player, should have been in there. Is he better than Ronaldinho? The answer is yes. Is there a space anywhere for Ronaldinho? I thought he was a magician. And Roberto Carlos, I don't think you can overlook him. He was just brilliant too. I've dropped Nesta and put Maldini in at centre back, Richard, because he did play centre back as well. He was that good for about 19, 20 years.
Oh, Maldini was exceptional. I think is he not quoted as saying something, if you need to make a tackle, you've already made a mistake, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Jeez, I must make a lot of mistakes.
That's what I like. Somebody that's self-deprecating. Well done.
But, no, I mean, fantastic player. And I think that's where he kind of started out was in the centre. Certainly, he was very, very good there. But there's a few. I mean, even thinking since we've come on show, I mean, where's Brazilian Ronaldo? He's in there ahead of Lewandowski for me.
Is he?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And this will be outrageous because of what he's achieved.
And he hasn't won it.
No, but this will be. Has he not won?
No, he hasn't won the Champions League. Yeah, you're still having. I'm a big Brazilian Ronaldo fan, but I looked at it and I thought to myself, well, I'm picking guys that have won it.
What I'm about to say is outrageous based on what the man's done, but I'm swapping Cristiano Ronaldo for Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that sounds outrageous because of what he's achieved and the numbers he clocks up, but I just think if I want to watch a player, I'd rather watch Ronaldinho than Cristiano.
And are you happy with the rest of them?
You've not went for Buffon and goals. Neuer, to be fair, Neuer's almost like a sweeper, isn't he? He's not really a goalie anymore. But yeah, your back four. Alves is he's the most decorated football player in history. Carlos is in his heyday was a phenomenon, and then the two in the middle were excellent. Got to have Messi in there. Could you maybe have Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes in midfield? But then who do you take out? No, those are the two that I'd change. I'd take Ronaldinho back in and put Ronaldo in for Lewandowski and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ruffy, were you changing anything in your mind?
No, I think we discussed it yesterday.
Did we make the right choice with putting Carlos in and Zidane?
You've tweaked it a wee bit just to get people in.
Yeah.
But no, I thought Zidane was magnificent. I saw there was a clip on Sky or something about his years and his history, and some of the stuff he was doing in midfield was way ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, technically, Tam, left and right foot, he was an absolute genius, But I'm with Richard on the camp that I loved Ronaldinho because he had so much flair, skill, could passes that he saw that nobody actually realised were on at times, and he's the only guy I've ever seen actually play a pass with his back.
He was entertaining to watch, wasn't he?
He was. One of my mates said he was nothing but a sand dancer, and I thought, what?
No.
I'd pay to see him anywhere.
Centre back there, you've not got Jimmy Traore in there. He won the European Cup with Liverpool.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that.
On the bench.
I must phone the Traore family and say to them I've gone for unbelievable skill.
Anderson, he's won a Champions League at Man United. Oh, there's some poor players that have won it, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. But
sure, they're ballers right enough.
It's not a bad team, is it? Would you keep Carlos at left back?
Probably. Ashley Cole's maybe a shout as well. Thought he was top notch.
Yeah.
Stevie Gerrard for me would get in there. I'd take Iniesta out and put Gerrard in.
What?
Yep.
Would you?
Aye.
Okay. Wow. Somebody said Ruud Gullit as well. We did go from 2000 onwards. I mean, the great Milan side of the late 80s was just absolutely phenomenal. You'd actually be struggling to pick an 11 once you go back beyond the millennium.
He's at it.
Eh? Yeah, he's got to be. I know. I'm not even looking at him, by the way. I actually got to a point as soon as he's won the European Cup with 3 different teams.
How's he not on it?
Eh? Well, he's not good enough. We're just going for attack, haven't we? We're going for attack.
We'll score more than you.
We're not having Lewandowski in there, sorry.
Absolutely. I love that attitude. It was, I think it was Keegan's attitude as a manager. Certainly was Ozzy Ardielis' attitude as a manager. You score 3, we'll score 4. I like that, Ruffy. Are you more defensive orientated? You want your Gordon McQueen heading the ball away, don't you?
No, I think the modern day now, you like to see him coming out for the back. You like to see them being comfortable on the ball, and that's a modern day now. A lot of the players in my era wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. It's always a good talking point. It's always good when you're having a bit of banter about football. We're going to talk European football as well. And incidentally, coming up, we've got some good competitions on the way that will get you some good prizes as well this week and next week. So look out for that. Download the app because we're live on the PLZ Soccer app as well now, which means if you can't watch it from the confines of your home, if you are out and about on the train or maybe just sitting somewhere, get it on your phone, you'll not miss it. 4 o'clock all the way through till 5 Monday to Friday. From there, let's look at Europa League before we get to Champions League. Dortmund against Rangers. Here's the Europa League fixtures. Dortmund against Rangers is the 4:45 kickoff. As you can see, Zenit against Real Betis. Barcelona, strange to see them in this competition, against Napoli. Sheriff against Braga. RB Leipzig, Real Sociedad. Porto against Lazio. Atalanta against Olympiacos, and Seville against Dinamo Zagreb. So it's a tough one. Hugh McDonald has given us an insight because he follows Borussia Dortmund on a regular basis, even without Haaland. They're a formidable bit of opposition.
Oh, they are. I think, like I was speaking before, they're a Champions League side. They've not performed well this season, but in the Champions League, so they've dropped down. But they're a fantastic side, and the one thing they always do is score goals. I think recently they took a sore one, against Leverkusen. They get beat 5-2, and the fans weren't too happy. But you just look through their fixtures, and the one thing they always do is score goals, with or without Haaland in the team. Yeah,
absolutely. 17:45, beg your pardon, just in case anybody sits in front of it for an hour, Ruffy. Yeah, absolutely. Who is this game? Peter Martin said 4:40. I'm going to write to somebody and complain. Anyway, 6:15, don't miss it. As far as Rangers are concerned, a couple of players, I don't think players bother, Ruffy, if they're one yellow away from missing a game. They just have to be committed for the cause.
Well, I've never been in that position. Richard's probably been better to answer that one if you're sitting in a yellow card.
Morelos and Saka are on. Sakala, sorry.
You just once that whistle goes, everything.
Yeah, I think if you worry too much about that, you take away a lot of Morelos' game if he's even worrying about that. You know, the important thing is. You've got to play the game in front of you. So I agree. I think if you're on a booking, then you maybe don't go into any wild lunges, but you still got to play the game in the same manner as you would have without it. Yeah,
absolutely. And of course, this is a game that Giovanni Van Bronckhorst says all the players buzzing. These are the games that you want to play in.
I think it's normal. You want to. You are a player to live the moments we are facing now, playing in Europa League. Playing against Borussia Dortmund, those are the games you want, and so that's why you work hard, from when you're young to be able to play these games.
When you play better players, you realise the standard you're at, the standard they're at, and you also at times, you can enhance your own ability and realise, what levels you need to go through.
Yeah, I think the Rangers players will be looking forward to the game, first and foremost. I don't think there's a lot of pressure on Rangers. Dortmund are massive favourites to go through. I think they're favourites to win the whole competition. So, listen, it's a tough test, but Rangers are going to enjoy it, the players are going to enjoy it. I think they've got a boost from the fact that there's only 10,000 fans there. I think if it was 70, 80,000 there, it'd have been a real intimidating atmosphere, but 10,000 there, it's going to be like a bounce game, a closed door game. It's not going to be that great an atmosphere, and Rangers, previous season done really well. In kind of bounce games, no crowds there, so interesting to see how they got on. Steady
now, Tam. Steady. You're veering on a mob jumping on your head. Anyway, I don't know. I want to believe, Richard, that this is the Rangers under Steven Gerrard, where they were pulling out great results and again picking up great valuable coefficient points across Europe. I'm not so sure. I can see them lose by a couple of goals.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. Defensively they've been okay, and even since Van Bronckhorst came in, and you're right, they did get some great results when Gerrard was there. But I just think this is too good an opposition, too big a step up. It may be fantastic if we could go away from home and get anything from the game, but even at Ibrox, where they've got 50,000, that would be a great atmosphere. But I just think that the team they're playing against are too good. It's they need to have an off night, and Rangers need to play at their best to get something from the game, which is kind of similar to most teams have to play the Old Firm, so they get a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, I think the hope is they just hang on to something for the second leg. Even been beat 1-0, you're still thinking going back to Ibrox, you've got a chance in the tie, but I don't think that'll be the case. I think they've got enough couple of goals in them. If Rangers could probably nick a goal, would obviously be a bonus. But no, the problem is, apart from Celtic, they never come up against any opposition like this. So the players really have to raise their game.
Yeah, you still haven't given us a score though. You just gave us.
I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1. 2-1. Who?
Dortmund.
Okay. Look at your face. Sean Maxwell says, I've got Rangers to win the Europa League. And I think that's a lesson to all of us. If you're going to have a wee drink in the afternoon, don't start opening the cans and just start firing them down your throat, Sean. Come on, let's get a grip.
He's on Mel and the bevy.
Let's get a grip, Sean. They're not going to win the Europa League, but if they do, just as a safety, just
what are you going to do? You're going to bear your backside?
No, he's coming to the staff party. No, he's coming to the staff party. Actually, I think it was Bernie Slavin who played for Middlesbrough, and he made an outrageous claim that if Middlesbrough did something or something didn't happen, he said he would actually go naked and bare his backside in Woolies, and the crowd was there for him, and they were all there. And Bernie, to his credit, into Woolies. There you go, the big moon, and off you go. But
wouldn't they get away with that now, would he?
No, he'd be in jail. But nevertheless, I think we've got to take Sean to the staff party. If Rangers win the Europa League, he deserves a night out and we pay all the expenses, unless he lives like somewhere daft like Elgin, and we have to, we're not putting him up in a hotel as well.
I think we could risk that side bet.
Yeah, that's fair. That's good. It's a right good night out, Sean, to be honest with you. Not that I think you're coming with us, but nevertheless, it's well worth a punt. So, give us your predictions on that. Is it Borussia Dortmund to put together a significant lead in the first leg, or will Rangers produce something that they're more than capable of and have on more than a few occasions played some good European football? If anybody, you're talking about a manager like Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, knows the European game and the style that they need to get a result, he's the man there. Can he produce one in this match? Only time will tell. So if that's the Europa League fixtures, what about the Europa Conference? It's all change, and this is another tier of European football. PSV against Maccabi Tel Aviv, Fenerbahce against Slavia Prague, Rapid Vienna against Vitesse, it's Michelin against PAOK, Celtic against Bodo Glimt, Leicester play Randers, Marseille against Karabag, and then Sparta Prague will play Partizan Belgrade. So then you've got, again, it's a lower tier again. There's still money involved in it, Richard, which I think that's why I want to see an Aberdeen, a Hearts or a Hibs in this newly formed, lower tier of European football, because £3 and £4 million makes a huge difference to their budget, and Celtic won't sniff at the money.
No, they won't. But I think for an Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, this would be a good tournament. For Celtic, I think it's akin to getting the most improved player from the coach. That's the vibe I get from it. It's just all the clubs in this, they don't want to be in it, and imagine there's a fixture pile up for Celtic and they end up losing out in the league because of this tournament. I don't think the Celtic fans would be happy. It's just they're in it, they're going to try and do well in it, but if they got put out, I don't think they'd care too much. Yeah,
I did say to you the other day that one of my mates, actually, probably a little bit like Sean, said he's thinking of booking 2 tickets for Albania for the final, and I thought to him, actually, same thing to him. I actually just sent him a text and said, get a grip of yourself.
To be fair, there's more chance of Celtic getting
you were
the
going
final.
to go into your kind of Edinburgh casual line there. There's more chance.
There's more chance of Celtic getting the final than there's Rangers. And Europa League stacked with proper teams like Seville and Dortmund and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's nowhere near the same calibre in this Conference League.
Well, I think mention
Roma are the favourites to win it. And they're struggling in the league, and Bodo Glimt hammered them. They're favourites to win it. Celtic competed well with Bayer Leverkusen and Betis, who are both, I think, top 3 in the respective leagues. So I don't think that if Celtic really take this seriously, they can get into the semi-finals. Fine.
I mentioned PSV and maybe Sparta or Slavia. Always technically good sides. I mean, are Celtic up at that level that they could seriously think about winning this tournament? Or has Richard got a really good point about, listen, all bets are off, straight into the Champions League, depending on the permutations for next season?
Yeah, right. Celtic don't want to be there, and you can see the drop in quality for the fixture list there. There's a dramatic drop, but you still want, you're in it to win it. They'll go out there, the players will get a kick the further they go in the tournament, but as Richard said, depends what happens near the end of the season. You have to get your priorities sorted out. We talk about teams going for 4 trophies, like the European Cup, the Premier League, and it's what a task that is. But when you're a player and you're in the cups, you want to go as far as you can.
Yeah, Johnny says he'll eat his hat if Celtic win this cup. He was quite I think he's just completely dismissed. I'm paraphrasing here because Johnny can't stop saying words that we're not allowed to use on here because we try and keep it decent. Hibs can't qualify, says Daniel, so pipe down. No, but I do want to see for once in the last 15, 20 years. I think we're going back to Aberdeen playing Bayern Munich. You want to see some of the other clubs getting a chance to play European football in group stages because it's well worth it. Celtic Bodo Glimt is I know exactly. Here's what Ange Postecoglou makes of this tie.
Nah, I'm not the tinkering type, mate. I think people have seen our approach. They saw our approach in Europe already. We played some pretty good teams. Leverkusen, what are they, 3rd in the Bundesliga, and Betis 3rd in Spain, and people saw the approach we took against them. And our goal is to be a team that plays, this football against all opposition.
Yeah, so he's not going to tinker about with the team, Tam, which actually goes back to your reference the other day there when you said it depends on where he says mate in the answer to the question. If he says it early on, that's him booting you out into left field, and he said it, within 2 words there. So he's clearly not going to tinker. He wants strongest team out, high press, push it, play plan A, and if plan A is not working, play plan A better.
Yeah, I think Celtic will play their strongest team tomorrow night. Don't think there's any doubt about that. I think they want to do well in this competition. If they can go out tomorrow night and get a 2 or 3-0 win, then you're probably through. You can go over there and maybe rest a few boys, but I think it's a competition the Celtic fans want to do well in as well. I think it's a competition where Celtic can compete. They can compete in this competition. I think even the Europa League was difficult. Champions League, no chance. But in this is a competition where they can go and get results. Yeah,
as you mentioned there, Ruffy and Richard, they've sold 4 key players since the draw was made. Their season hasn't really kicked off, doesn't kick off till April, but they will have been playing games against opposition just to get them ready to get flying in April, and they'll be well aware of the European competition.
Yeah, they will. But Celtic, because they're currently playing, I think are favourites. I think. They want to play the same team, play a strong team to keep the continuity, to keep the kind of good feeling going they've had since they won the Old Firm game. But I disagree with Tam. I mean, Celtic are capable of winning the Glasgow Cup, but I don't think they care about winning it. And I think this tournament's the same. I can't myself take it that seriously, because I just think it's you have the Champions League, you have the Europa League, and then you've just added in another league that just, to me, I can't get on board with it at all. So I think the Celtic players are just. Yes, they'll try and win the game, because you try and win every game, but I don't think they'll be too disappointed if they don't. Yeah, be careful if you're criticising the lower European competitions. I did it a couple of years ago, Ruffy, and they battered me for it, didn't they? They were not having it. I was not impressed with the Europa League, and the reason I wasn't impressed with it is because for a 15-year period, I can remember going to Champions League games, and of course UEFA Cup, albeit as well, with the tournament I thought had stronger teams, but you were going to Champions League all across Europe commentating on Rangers and Celtic. It was, you heard the music, you seen the calibre of player, the quality of football, and you were loving it, and then to actually go down a level again because of the financial situation in Scotland. We've dropped down a considerable level, and slowly but surely Rangers and Celtic have tried their best to bring us back up again.
No, this competition's for the team that Celtic are playing, for up-and-coming teams for certain countries, to bring them into the European setup. Celtic don't want to be in that, don't want to be near that. They want to be playing the big boys, but unfortunately it's their own fault for where they are, but they'll be looking on the up next year to move up out of this. But no, I've said to you 15, 20 years ago, if you get drawn against, was it Bobo Glint, is that what they're called?
Yeah, Bodo.
Yeah, you'd be going, this is a 15 aggregate, 15-0, something like that.
Yeah.
It just shows you how much these teams have progressed.
Yeah, if you can do me a favour, Ruffy, try not to mention the word Bobo, because Tam comes out in a cold sweat and he starts looking to see if there's anybody going to come right through the back of him. Simple as that. You're talking about a spineless player when Bobo was playing. Was there ever a player, Richard, you come up against that you thought, I'm going to get battered here today?
Not physically, but I came up against. I used to hate playing against Aidan McGeady, because he could actually destroy you. I played against probably better players than Nakamura and Mata and stuff, but someone like McGeady who just wants to take you on all the time, and even if you tackle him one time, he comes back the next time and he just tries to take you on all the time, and eventually you've just got to kick him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you wouldn't kick Bobo, because he'd throw you all over.
Of course, Tam did, and he paid the penalty. He paid the penalty for it, as people were just, that tap when you're getting taken off in a stretcher. Good luck, hope you're back before Christmas.
I seen at Celtic Park in the corner, and Baldy came up for the corner and he's jumped. And he's headed the ball, he's went over, he smashed the goalie, sparkled him, David Priest. He's hit the post, square on, just hit the post. The whole thing's shaking. He just kind of goes down for a second, gets up, shakes himself off and just runs back. Yeah. I think we restarted play. David Priest didn't know where he was and the goal was still rattling, and he was just like that back at centre half, as if, right, let's get the game going. Yeah. Like, Jesus, man's a monster.
He could have been a Bond villain, couldn't he? Bobo could easily have been a Bond villain. He was just, what a specimen.
Yeah, he'd be a Bond villain. We're sitting in the stand and getting 28 grand a week for a year.
Only Ruffy could get it back down to
finance.
He's
a proper mercenary, isn't he?
Yeah.
A lot of respect for him.
Well,
a lot of respect for him.
Brilliant. Bobo, I tell you, I think if you mentioned it to the Celtic board, they come out in a cold sweat about him. But he stuck to his guns as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, Champions League. Okay, we're slightly shortened programme today, just basically because we want most of our guests to be able to return tomorrow. And the weather is mental. I think, I don't know if it's, they've been calling one of the weather storms Dudley, which suggests to me that it's come from Birmingham. This storm Dudley's on the way. I can't do a Birmingham accent, but nevertheless,
The Welsh?
it's going to be, hey, 2 lager and a bitter for Tom. It's going to be very difficult to drive, and if anybody's going out and you're driving, then please do so with great care. We want you to be safe in weather like this, and that's why we're having a shortened one. So we'll just quickly finish on Champions League. Last night, I don't know which game you watched, but I decided to go for PSG against Real Madrid. It ended up 1-0 with Mbappe scoring the goal. The other one was just, well, it was a canter. Sporting Lisbon 0, Man City 5. Tonight we've got Salzburg against Bayern Munich and Inter Milan against Liverpool. So I'm obviously going to be watching Liverpool against Inter, Tam. But just before we get to that point, last night, Man City, you're starting to, you're getting a bit of confidence about you.
I think they win the Champions League this year. I think they've got everything. They don't concede goals. Their defence is unbelievable, and they're scoring goals at will. I don't think Bayern Munich are the same calibre this season. I think the only team that could possibly stop them would be Liverpool if they avoid each other.
Yeah.
But English football is they're just dominating everything now.
Yeah.
And it's not great, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we talked about for a good few years, Ruffy. I said the perfect storm was coming when you're signing £1 billion TV deals, and their buying power is just on another level now.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, that's why you've got the likes of the Germans complaining about the fair play and everything. They know the way it's going, the power, and obviously the main power was Real Madrid and Barcelona, but they've got themselves into a right financial mess, so they aren't a threat the way they were. They'll still be there or thereabouts, but I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah. Where's your money going on this, Richard?
I don't like to see the English teams win because of the money. I think that they're kind of ruining football. They inflate the cost of everything. The wages that they get is ridiculous. So I'm going to go with Inter Milan. I think they're going to beat Liverpool, and I think they're going to go and win it.
They're going to win it, Inter Milan?
Yeah.
He's one appearance short of making the staff party, Tom. And Inter Milan might just sink him. I can't see myself, but I love your opinion, by the way. And incidentally, quite a number of people are thinking to themselves, has Richard come in with the Dundee emblem there because he's the new manager? Calm yourselves, by the way. It's Richard Foster. He's wearing a Dior top, Ruffy, and of course he's obviously siding with Russia if they invade Ukraine, because he's got the clobber's fantastic, isn't it?
I've never seen any of them in marks.
Yeah, I mean,
I've tried all the rails and everything. Tried all the rails and everything, but never.
I have to say, by the way, he could take the place of Fergie on the show.
He likes his clobber.
He likes his gear, doesn't he?
His wife must be buying him it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a look at his
Unless Thistle got a banknote Thistle his wages.
I was going to say, I've had a look at his wages. He's well going up into the stand and doing a bobo if he's going to keep buying that gear. Anyway, apart from anything else, it's all about opinions. Thank you to so many of you who are downloading the app, and I have to say, the people who are subscribing to the channel, thank you. It's going up and up, and the regular viewers now who realise we are on YouTube every day, Monday to Friday, and we're bringing you managers and players interviews, one-to-ones. Pat Nevin, next week you'll be able to watch the show. Pat Nevin, we'll put it out as a podcast as well. Really good listen. He had a great career with Chelsea and Everton, and of course Tranmere Rovers for a 5-year period as well, coming back to Killie and Motherwell. He kicked it all off at Clyde, just in case any Clyde fans get a little bit peeved with me, and he knows his stuff about the music scene as well. His knowledge of music is right up there with the best of them, so it's well worth a listen, and he doesn't shirk a number of issues that are fired his way. He was the PFA chairman in England, and he really is a good listen, well worth it. I'll give you the details of when that's coming out. Gordon Strachan's one-to-one's still there. We're going to get Richard over the next week, hopefully, to pick his all-time 11 dream team of who he played with, which, Ruffy, I think he could surprise us with a few howitzers in there.
Yeah, give us one name just to give us a flavour.
Just give us a little flavour. Get us excited.
Stephen Davis.
Well, Stephen Davis is a great player. Yep, great lad, Stephen. I'd be happy with that. Good player, good
Steve
touch,
Davis.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get his big break with Northern Ireland.
Yep.
Oh, you're not going to go for that gag, are you? Honestly, you're a disgrace. I now see them coming. They're so 1970s. You should be taken back in a DeLorean to another decade. You really should.
Who's your star, your team?
Gaza, but never getting it.
He never even put Gaza in his team. Oh, I forgot about him. Gaza, he never put him in the 11. You should see his dream team. It's honestly
You'll
it's
be
a scandal.
Sean at the night out.
Yeah, you are. That's exactly it. Well done. I can't wait to see Richard's dream team. Anyway, apart from anything else, good to have Richard with us on the programme. Anne, Ruffy and Tam, don't forget to join us tomorrow on the programme. We'll be here from 4 o'clock. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We're all going to hopefully get out of the studio and home safely. Hopefully you make sure you're safe and you can join us tomorrow at 4. Thanks for watching.